and special needs are meeting today, significant because the agency is right now under the microscope after a legislative audit found that the agency diverted and mishandled funds, failed to follow up adequately on safety and health violations, and pointed out several potential conflicts of interest. Senator Dave Thomas has been at the forefront on a committee reviewing how DDSN does business. He was nice enough to get up very early with us. Good morning, Senator. Thanks for being here.
Thank you, Kara. I appreciate it.
You know, I've been following along with this, and it's particularly disturbing in some cases because here's an agency that's really charged with taking care of some of the state's most vulnerable individuals. I'm sure that's why you got involved as well.
Well, yeah, because we had put the $3 million, the legislature had appropriated $3 million, or a number of $1 million, a number of years ago. It took the agency so long to get the program going. For autism. And finally, when it was just about ready to be launched, with the proper supervisors and all that to train the kids, they took $3 million and put into their operating funds to cover what they said were their shortfalls.
Well, let's go to that. You know, to bring people up to date, I have a graphic here that kind of shows and outlines that. The audit said that more than $9 million of $10.5 million appropriated for autism programs since 2006 was either unspent or diverted, and that if all of that $10.5 million had been spent, it would have qualified for additional matching funding and Medicaid funding.
Right.
So we're talking about a lot of money. We're talking, you know, this year, the $3 million that could have been spent on this program, but overall, much more than that. So now all of these kids out there and families who've been fighting for autism are wondering, will we ever see that money back? And can we get some sort of promise to make sure if in the future they get money, they're going to see it?
Well, and that is the big issue. Did they really have to take that money in its entirety and spend that to cover the shortfalls, or were there other things that they could have done? Now, they say that there were other things that they cut in their entirety also. Well, we question whether or not they could have done percentage cuts. They say if we had done percentage cuts, then it would have cut into our core program. So this is the back and forth, and we're not in the legislative body that I've got, which is from Banking and Insurance Committee that is looking at this, which is where the original autism money came through. We're not in the accusatory mode.
Sure.
We're though wanting to find out what you did with the money. Was it absolutely necessary? For instance, they bought land during all this process in Spartanburg that was had some contamination problems.
Yes.
The Tyco issue. This whole thing has now been covered. A number of articles by the Greenville News, and we question whether or not those were wise decisions to take cash when they would end up needing, and they probably knew it anyway, is the point.
Sure, cash for land versus a program, especially in tight budget times.
Quick grab that money, we know we're going to have a shortfall. So they now have some of their commissioners really beginning to look at the audit report itself. We, in turn, that is the legislature, has this committee in place, and we're sort of monitoring what they're doing. We're letting them proceed to see if they do it from our perspective correctly, but we've got a lot of other issues that people have been calling, professionals that have been calling my office at the Banking and Insurance Committee saying you need to look at this. There's an atmosphere of retaliation. There's incompetence at the level where people are actually working and being treated. This is not to say all the facilities are bad, but it's to say there is enough bad so that we need to pursue and press the agency to make sure there is not diversion at the top, and that at the functional level where people are being treated, that it's the best facilities that we can possibly have.
The people who need the money get it.
Yeah.
Real quick, 2 more meetings, committee meetings planned?
Well, probably more than that.
Just to try to get to the bottom?
At least 2 to continue pushing this thing. We're not going to quit until we know we've got the best Department of Disability Special Needs in the nation.
Well, I know I receive a lot of email, and people appreciate the effort you're taking. Thanks for getting up early with us, and we'll continue to follow the story, and we'll be right back after the break. Stay tuned.